We are. We're live.
Are we?
Should be
I'm
live.
looking
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're live. Can we get a check in the chat, I guess? I believe that we are live. We're gonna have to trim this part out, guys.
It's like it says waiting on my screen.
Hold on just a second.
No, it's up.
Yeah, we're
Hey,
live.
there it
Yeah.
is.
Hold on.
Okay. Did you forget to switch it up?
No, it's been live this whole time. I'm so sorry. All right, cool.
Okay, so turns out I'm a moron. Anyway, so just to recap, we are all here. Everyone is here this week. We're going to have all 4 team owners. Josh Barnsley is here. So we're excited about that. You're able to see him, talk to him. Before we get started, Josh, as you know, I am kind of a polymath. I have a lot of different interests. Different things interest me. And right now, human anatomy is one of the things that's really interested in me. And I wanted to see if you know this fact.
Okay.
I want to see if you know this because I just learned this.
Shoot.
When we are born as babies and until we progress, towards adolescence and puberty, we actually have 4 kidneys. Did you know that?
Oh.
No, I did not know that.
So you have 4 kidneys, and as you go through pubescence, as you become a grown up, 2 of them become adult knees.
God.
Oh my God.
This is too much, man.
All right, so we kicked off things last night in Monaco with the Academy race. It was pretty exciting, really some cool stuff to see there. But before we get to Monaco, let's try to talk about some of the stuff that happened in Japan. Suzuka, man, it's a tricky track for some folks. And I guess we'll start with McLaren and D1. Is that where we're starting?
Yeah, we're gonna start off talking about how last week Razor decides that he's allowed to take a week off, which Mercedes, that's for you to decide how the punishment should be dealt out. But Tom, while Razor is gone, decides I'm taking this into my own hands, and Tom comes out of nowhere, goes from last place the week before, and gets a win at Japan while Razor's gone. What do you think about that, Revis?
Yeah, I don't think anyone really necessarily expected. It's something that Tom's always had in his back pocket. We saw at Silverstone, he made his tires last an inordinate amount of time and stayed up near the front. I think he was in P2 for most of the race, waiting to see if there was going to be a late safety car. And on old tires against the speed of D1, you can't stick there if you don't belong, if you're not on the pace with everyone else. You can't make those tires last that long without losing a bunch of spots. So Tom's got the pace, he's got the racecraft. It's just getting it all together. So yeah, I was surprised, but I was like a happy surprised. It's overdue for Tom. And if anyone would have said that we'd walk away with a McLaren podium with Razor out, I think a lot of folks would have been really surprised.
I agree. And the other thing that we don't have listed on here as a topic, but needs to be talked about, is Ian started in last place, went from P20, led the race for a little bit, and still ended up in P2. Adam, what do you have to say about his performance?
Oh, it was a fantastic drive, especially with Peter being out. We were only getting half points for his spot anyway, so really needed to maximize Ian's position. And with him missing qualifying, I mean, it was going to be tricky the whole time, but I believe an early safety car got him on the right strat, and he was able to make tires last and eke out a P2. It was pretty amazing. So
yeah, and then Bob Loblaw as well had a good race. I think he ended up on the podium. Is that right, Josh?
Yeah.
Did you guys have anything going on for preparation in Japan that led to that sort of success?
Not really. We kind of just share setups pretty much. Make sure everybody's got the one that they like.
Yeah.
Bob was doing a lot of practice for it, so he was ready for that. That's nice that he got the podium, though. That's the second one that we got for Ferrari.
Yeah.
We've been kind of struggling so far, especially Bronson, but it was that one before that, so that's 2 podiums now.
Yep.
So looking pretty good so far.
And Bronson's takes the fastest lap point as well. He at the end was able to go real swift.
Even though it was kind of a rough race for him. I only know because I was in the back in P17 and he was chilling back there with me in P16 until the late safety car, thanks to Joel. But so let's go ahead and let's take a look at what's going on in Div 2 now. So I think Johannes, up to this point, Johannes Ludwig has won every race, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, Adam?
Yep.
Think so, yeah. So Johannes has won every race. Comes to Japan, and we finally see a little bit of human element with Johannes. Maybe he's not an alien or he turned his hacks off. I'm not sure what's going on. But are we worried at all that maybe this could happen again, or is this just kind of like a one-off? Johannes had a moment.
Well, as the Alpine team lead, this is definitely, I think, just a one-off. There were rumors in the paddock that a certain Danish boy got into iRacing, so so not a lot of preparation going into Suzuka, and as we all know, it's one of the toughest tracks on the game, especially for overtaking. And if you make a mistake, you're not going to be able to slice your way up through the field like we've seen Johannes do in the past. So a few mistakes and lack of preparation from both Alpines and D2 this week. We don't expect, or last week, we don't expect that to happen again. So,
well, I mean, you say it, but I've talked. Well, we'll wait till you get to the Div 2 predictions, I guess. But I know that Johannes is iffy on even if he's going to show up this week.
Right.
I know it's his birthday weekend, so happy birthday, Johannes. I hope it's a good birthday weekend for you. But yeah, Japan wasn't it for you, my guy. So, Ferrari had a hell of a performance in Div 2, though. So they're tightening up the constructors. Alpine, it had a little bit to do with Alpine's choke job, but what do you have to say about the Ferrari performance in Div 2, Josh?
I mean, I always love when Sid gets up on the podium. I can always count on him to give Ludwig a run for his money, and when Ludwig's not there, then it's easy. You know, Sid is always ready to go. He's always perfect. He's always doing his practice. He's our golden boy.
Yeah,
I love Sid. So yeah, he's doing good.
Revis, being the kind of strategy guy that you are, how impressed were you, I guess, when you saw Sid take those hard tires all the way to the end to get a win?
So it's really track dependent on the hards. It's hard to keep temp in them, but Suzuka, especially through the S's, if you have more an aggressive or acrobatic style like a Sid, or like particularly Bob also made the hards last in Division 1. If you have one of those tire setups and driving styles where you can slide the tires a little more with like getting right to the edge of grip, you can keep temp in them better. And so we know they're going to last. The hard tires always last, but you've got to keep the temp in them is the main thing. The warmer they are, the better they perform. And so Sid showed us exactly how to do it. Bob followed that suit. So Ferrari was onto something there with the hard tires once Sid got it sorted.
Yeah, I think I was just most impressed that when he came to the hards, he didn't lose as much time as he did. I think he fell like 2 seconds back from the lead, but even with falling back from that, like 2 seconds is not that much when you consider the drop off that those mediums are going to have at the end of the race. So I guess I was just impressed that he didn't lose more. So his pace on hards was actually incredible. So shout out to Sid for a great week over at Ferrari. I think
and that was a solo call. Like that was his call. The rest of Ferrari team did not do that.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that was his own call, and he made it work. So.
Yeah, until Bob did it in Div 1,
awesome.
just maybe a little bit of a nod to, hey, this worked for Ferrari in Div 2. Let's keep it going.
And we've seen Sid do that before. I think it was Brazil where he had the medium tires that were like down to like 76% wear by the time he got done with the race, and he just kept pushing and pushing. So he's figured out how to manage tires well, that's for sure.
Yep, he's always been that guy to kind of take the alternate strategy and make it work. So, moving on to Div 3.
Before we do that,
go ahead.
You're just gonna gloss right over it. Mr. Sandinga with his first podium. The Mercedes on the podium finally in Division 2. It's been rough. Big Mama Frank's had a hard time. The McLaren boys have had a really hard time. Really, for the most part, we haven't really shown up in Div 2. Alex has really been, for Aston Martin, our only consistent point scorer. Drips scored points in all but one race, and so it's good to have a really good result like that, and then hopefully all of the Mercedes drivers can kind of build on that going forward.
Yeah, I wasn't really just trying to skip over it. It's just more or less that anything that's related to Mercedes doesn't matter in my world.
Ooh.
So, we kind of just
Wow.
we kind of just try to take it and move on.
Okay.
Let's not talk about the Honda cheat scandal going on this week.
Oh no, let's.
Yeah, that's a big story.
Shoot. All right, so let's move on to D3. We had Buzzgod and Spanini. I'm sorry. I was trying to think there for a second. Buzzgout and Spanini raced in Div 3 for Red Bull, and they kind of just took it by storm. At Japan, they qualified 1-2, and I think that their times were pretty dominant. It wasn't really closely matched, maybe by Axelized, if I remember right. And then in the race, I think that they kind of just ran away with it. I don't think there was much to be said. Only thing to be considered is, do we think this sort of dominance at Red Bull can be continued, or is it something that was a one-off and probably isn't going to happen again?
Oh, I'd say it's definitely a one-off because OG's trash. I mean, he doesn't even show up to race for his team. Like,
that's
he's
true.
probably the worst guy ever.
Not saying anything to OG, but Spanini, it's been talked about on the paddock all week that maybe he shouldn't have been able to race in Div 3. Now he's taking a D2 seat, so he can't race in Div 3. So we'll hold on to his points at Red Bull, but we won't be able to have that anymore. OG, will he be able to keep up that same performance? I'm not sure. I think he's a top 5 driver, but I don't know if we'll be able to keep up that 1-2, 1-2 every week.
And then what's difficult after that is, let's say Spanini, that he had already taken that D2 seat, then who would have been driving in that second seat? And it's, you can't go back and look at the attendance now. It's already been wiped, whatever. But, Corrupt ends up P4, and he was driving for the Ferrari. So maybe he ends up, P3 behind Axelized, or maybe he's in the Red Bull in P3 behind Axelized. I mean, there's, if it's in butts, we're candy and nuts.
Yeah, we'd all be drunk and screwed.
Yeah. Yep, and that's why we. It's why we're working to try to balance things out. We know there's a lot of frustration with the drivers with our Div 3, but that's kind of our melting pot. It's our testing point. It's where we try new things out. And so that, for guys like Siggy and OG that are sitting P3 and P4 in the points, and we're expecting to be P1 and P2, it's been frustrating for them, and I get that. But that is part of growing the league. That's part of growing this broader vision of Duncan's kingdom that we're all working towards. Yep. And so yeah, it's painful for some of these guys, and but we press forward and we continue what we've been working towards.
Yes.
Right now, if you have not already, and you're watching, I know because I see you. You're right there. You make sure you like and subscribe. You specifically, or you're gonna get a Revis rant, and nobody wants those.
This is intimidating.
I like Revis rants.
Oh, I lost your webcam, Revis, but I'm almost glad that I did, because the intensity in your eyes just kind of made me a little nervous right there. I wasn't sure what was happening.
I scared the camera. I'm so sorry. Camera's like, no, dog. I'm just gonna bounce.
The fear and intimidation from Toto Revis strikes again. Let's talk about real quick. The Alfa Romeo seat has been opened up and since taken by, actually, Josh, if you want to go into that and tell us a little bit about what's going on with the D3 Alfa Romeo seat.
Yeah, so unfortunately, Leaf wasn't able to make it for 3 races in a row. Didn't let us know what it was for, so that makes you lose your seat.
Mm-hmm.
So I chose to go with AKA Dome. He's got the speed for Div 3, and he's also pretty active in the Discord, so I thought he'd be the best fit.
Yeah.
Plus, he's a cool guy as well, so, we have cool people at Ferrari.
Dome has been an active part of the community for a couple weeks now, and, especially with our new rep system, the longer you stay around, and it can really benefit you, and you'll start to move up through divisions, and you'll see a lot of guys who've been here for a couple weeks now are ending up getting seats, guys like Spanini, guys like Dome. I'm sure that we got people like Beamer who are just around the corner. But it's just kind of cool to see these drivers get seats and then eventually progress. Everyone's done it at some point. We saw it with Ian when he started back in Div 2. Now look where he's at in Alpine. So just kind of
looks
cool.
like my camera's not showing up on the stream. I'm gonna leave the call momentarily and jump back in.
Go for it.
And yeah, I know Buffalo is definitely happy to have a teammate there ready to race. So
yeah,
we had a double Adam.
Or sitting in the chat alone.
There we go. That was actually on my end. That was on my end, Revis. I'm sorry.
There we go. Red Bull cheating again, doing everything they can to push Mercedes out. any little tactic that you can take.
Listen,
it never stops with you.
Well, let's talk about the Monaco Grand Prix. And you know what? We'll go ahead and address it. Red Bull, over at Honda this week, we had a couple guys who are absolute grinders for whatever reason. So we've got Joel and Garrett, who put so much time into this game every week, and they love sharing the data. And we found something that we thought that could give us an advantage. Unfortunately for us, well, first of all, people like to run their mouth, but second of all, I felt guilty because there was a lot of time being gained that really did seem unfair. I will have to admit, maybe not at every other track, but specifically this week at Monaco, we felt, or at least I felt, I don't know, maybe I took it into my own hands. I felt that we probably shouldn't be doing that, and it kind of ruined the authenticity. So I brought it to the panel of admins here. Things were discussed, and ultimately we decided that we weren't going to move forward with allowing people to use those things, but braking assist and steering assist are no longer allowed in Zoom Racing League, and it's unfortunate for the people who weren't abusing it, but it's kind of hard to split who is abusing and who actually needs it. It's just one of those things that sucks, and I feel sorry for the people that do need it, but what can you do?
Especially that steering assist around Monaco on a controller. Ooh.
Yeah.
Like you've now killed Adam's camera, so I
No,
mean, just
he's back.
it's not
Sorry.
just not just Mercedes, is it? Interesting.
No, he's back now.
It was a mild doing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I mean that's a good thing, and so that goes to what we want to have as the integrity of the league is you find something that works, like say running really low pressure tires work. That's a setup thing, but when we start to find things that are kind of exploitive, we want to try to be as open and honest in addressing those things, because at the end of the day, particularly if we get this league where we want it to go, where we're competing for prizes again, Division 1 gives out a trophy at the end of the year. We want to make sure that we're all playing on the same level playing field. So if it's something that's inside the game that's meant to work a certain way, like you discover like positive camber works better than negative camber.
Right.
That's in the game. Now, maybe Codemasters didn't intend that, but we all know for sure that braking and steering assist were not intended to make you faster. They're intended to be a stability assist for someone who's learning the game. And so we want to keep that balanced.
Yep, exactly. So, I guess moving on from that topic, we are at Monaco this week. Adam, we haven't heard a whole lot from you. I know that Monaco is a track that I'm guessing you've probably struggled on. You've reached out to us and let us know that you hopped back on F1 this week, and it was a little bit of a pain in the butt. What's your thoughts on Monaco?
Monaco's just it's one of those tracks where you think there would be a lot of DNS, but because we don't run full sim damage and stuff, it's really a lot of broken wings. So minimizing pit stops, picking when you can actually overtake. I know there's not a lot of opportunities, so being patient this week is very key. Kind of just an attrition, right? So just wait for the person in front of you to make a mistake and crack their front wing. So be patient. Hopefully everybody got a lot of practice in, because this one's tough. You gotta maintain focus the whole time.
Yep, I definitely agree. We've held a lot of community events this week. Actually, I think we've held five community events for Monaco practices. I think those of you who have the ping notifications turned on have probably got those and seen that we've done a lot of them. I've happened to participate in all 5 of those, and it's crazy seeing like people come out and seeing where they were at the beginning of the week and then where they are at the end of the week. And the other thing that I'm noticing is the gap between the divisions specifically here is like very, very noticeable. So I think this week is going to be a week that you really start to see those differences show. Not like compared to a track like Austria where everyone's like kind of the same sort of qualifying times and stuff. I think you're going to see guys in Div 1 who hit the low 109s in qualifying, and I don't think you're in Div 2. I'll be surprised to see anyone in the 109s at all, and that's quite a big gap compared to what we're seeing in the past. Brevis, what's your thoughts on how's Mercedes prepped this week?
I don't know. They're grown-ups. They probably figure it out. I mean, if they don't, then the results will be just that. So one of the things that we're working towards in Mercedes, I want to compliment you on, you've done a good job with Red Bull, is arranging all those practice sessions. And what we're trying to do over in Mercedes, because we're so large, is we're wanting to kind of see who steps up and who puts forth the effort and who wants to lead, because I can't do it all. And so I need people that want to step up and take the reins. And even a young guy like Raz has stepped up, and he is always wanting to join practice sessions. And while I don't think he's ready to necessarily lead, like from a team owner perspective, I think it's such good promise for such a young guy that is on a totally different time slot and time zone from the rest of our guys. And so we want everything to be more organic over here, and so we kind of just as a community do stuff together. And so the good thing about that, and it's a culture that you've instilled, is that our engineering has been fantastic. We have never had a driver yet that doesn't have an engineer for a race across all 3 divisions. And we've even had some drivers helping with the academy races as well, as those relationships start to get developed. So as far as like formalized practice, where I'm like, hey, everybody show up this time, do this, didn't do any of that. But there's been a lot more organic stuff happening in the background.
Yeah, that's awesome. You're right that the practice is so important, especially this week at Monaco. It's really nice to get people together and turn laps, man. Because even though qualifying is ever so important in Monaco, finishing the race is going to be even more challenging. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works. Josh, over at Ferrari, what's going on with your guys' preparation for Monaco? And specifically with Ferrari, one thing I want to know is like setup wise. You don't have to go into what your setups are, but are you all kind of like on the same page, or is it something where you're all kind of doing your own thing?
Yeah, so in practice we just tend to I know Nux is kind of the one that pushes for practices all the time, which I really like for that. So we've got her pinging everybody all the time, so we got that practice going. Then I've noticed I've been joining those community practices because I need to get my own practice going. But Bob's been trying to get some in. Unfortunately, Brian won't be able to get any practice in. He's going to be showing up like a bit before the race, so I think he just flew back like last night.
Ooh, that sucks.
But yeah, so he's just going into Monaco, no practice, but that'll be fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we don't really have any team practices like how you guys do at Red Bull. It's kind of the same as Mercedes. We're a lot bigger, so we just kind of go with the flow.
Yeah.
There's a practice lobby up, everybody joins up kind of thing.
Yeah.
And for the setups, we got NVA. He's kind of running all the setups. Like Bob kind of gives setups, and then NVA will put them in the Discord.
So is it one of those things where you guys are mostly running the same thing?
Yeah, we have like 3 different options, and then we kind of like give tips for everybody. So we're running like 3 or 4 of the same setups, but kind of just depends on what you preference.
Yeah.
So
Adam,
yeah.
Alpine side this week. Is it Alpine or Alpine? I've heard it said so many.
Alpine.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Yeah. Alpine side. I know you guys are a smaller team. How's practice coming along this week for Monaco for you guys?
Has not been. I know people getting back from vacation and stuff, and sobering up. Although I did just check attendance, and Johanna says he will be there tonight. So
will he?
Good boy.
That is breaking news. Breaking news. Johannes Ludwig will race Div 2 tonight. Oh, that's unfortunate. Let me text Garrett real quick. Let him know.
Oh well, you can still slow up Monaco, so it's fine.
Yeah, so we're I think the strategy here is definitely we're looking for don't break a front wing, and it pretty much outside of Div 1, I can almost guarantee a top 5 finish if you don't have to take an extra pit stop. So err on the side of caution is what I preach, and just make it through the race. So we'll see how it goes tonight. Alpine's still searching for podiums in Div 3. We haven't gotten one yet, so
don't worry about
it. So we've kind of been performing like Mercedes in all the divisions in D3. So we need to we definitely need to step it up there. I know we talked about it last week with Moreno. He likes to push on the first lap, and I think with him being in Italy, having desync issues and stuff like that. It's really hard to he's gotten wing damage, I think, in all 4 races on the opening lap.
Oh, no.
So we gotta eliminate those, because going from starting 3rd or 4th or 5th to 18th is it ruins your race. So
Yep.
we gotta eliminate those and just survive.
Yeah, that's Monaco for you. But let's go ahead and move on to favorite part of the show. Again, at the end, we like to do our predictions, give a boom or bust. So let's start with Div 3 Revis. Who's your boom and who is your bust?
So my bust is going to be, once again, AlphaTauri this week. Both drivers will be out. They do have a couple of, one really solid reserve in PBJ, assuming he's been practicing. I know he's been doing a lot of oval and dirt stuff with, and also preparing for Sebring and iRacing. So I don't know how much he's actually been on F1, but it is a track he knows. It's a track he's had success at before. So AlphaTauri, with both their drivers out, it's kind of rough for them. Not going to get full points for PBJ's finish. Should get full points for Roberto. So I think AlphaTauri is going to fall a little bit further behind there. Boom this week, I am actually going to go with the Haas team. I think that they are overdue for both of them having a good result. We've had, I think it was 2 races ago, Flossie had a podium and Nux had fastest lap. And so if both of them can work really well together and stay on the same strategy, I think we might see a surprise Haas, 5-6, something like that.
That's awesome. Yeah, Adam, what you got?
Oh man, I'm gonna say for my boom this week, I think a reserve is actually gonna be putting it in the top 5. I think Barney, driving for Aston Martin, is gonna have a top 5 finish tonight. And as far as my bust go, I'm gonna curse, or I'm gonna give him the win again. I'm gonna say, even with all the practice that Red Bull's getting, Buzzgod's gonna have a down week. I'm not saying he's gonna be all the way in the back of the grid, but outside of the top 5 for Buzzgod. Let's see if it happens.
Yeah. All right, Josh, what you got for us?
For me, for my boom, I'm looking at the reserves as well. For Div 3, we got PBJ filling in for K-Seb. PBJ's quick, so I'm thinking he's gonna be able to do some work in that. Like, it is Monaco and he doesn't really race on F1 a lot, but he's still PBJ, so he'll be able to do something. But I'm backing you up, Adam, with that Red Bull bust.
Oh no, don't say it.
I don't know. I'm not. I'm not
that
means
he's gonna lead all 3 qualifying sessions and lead
the entire field.
Yeah.
Like, I was driving with Buzzgod and he did seem pretty quick, but I don't know.
Buzzgod, he's definitely been practicing.
One mistake though.
Yeah, he's been practicing a lot this week. I know his qualifying times look great, but it's just qualifying, so we'll see. I think we expect to see him start in the top 3 minimum, probably pole. But we'll just see how that works out for him. For my boom, Monaco's a race that's about patience and consistency, and who better on the Division 3 grid than Siggy? Every week, Siggy just shows up. He's a consistent driver, puts in great laps, doesn't really have a whole lot of accidents, and he's just always there. And I don't think that we'll see him probably have any broken wings. I probably just cursed it for him. But yeah, I don't think he'll have any broken wings at all, actually.
I cursed him last week, so
yeah, I think he'll have a good race. Consistency is important here at Monaco. And then for my bust, I'm saying this person in hopes that they don't do this. But Marino has been on downhill slide, so why not, And me saying this hopefully means that Marino finally breaks out of the bad streak and he can move on and get the past 4 races behind him.
Don't fight on the first lap. My gosh.
Yeah, Marino, please, dude. This doesn't mean I want to see you do bad. I hope you do good, but
does he have an option to start from the pits?
That's what Donovan said he's doing.
Racing move here.
Yeah. Let's talk about Div 2 Revis. Give me your boom and your bust.
So I think my bust is going to be Bronson Stafford, who's signed up as tentative.
Wait, what? Div 2?
Yeah, Bronson signed up as tentative in Div 2. So I think a little bit of a misclick there.
Oh my gosh.
No, I think my bust is actually going to be Johannes this week, because I think after last week, after his party birthday week, his focus on iRacing, I think his focus has slipped a little bit. And while we know he's quick and he's consistent, I think it's going to be a down week for him. As far as my boom this week, I'm actually going to go AlphaTauri.
AlphaTauri. Yep.
Because although I think Garrett Elder can easily step in and win this, I think the AlphaTauri as a team is going to have a better result, and I think Cole's overdue for a good result.
He is, and he loves Monaco too, so this is definitely a track that's suited for him. Adam, what you think over there?
Garrett to win.
Yeah.
Picking Garrett to win.
Yes.
And
Wait,
that's
no.
your bust?
Wait,
yep,
that means that you're
I'm
cursing
picking
him.
Garrett to win the Monaco Grand Prix.
Oh.
And I'm as unfortunate as it is, I'm gonna go with Johannes as well. Just a couple weeks of less focus than he usually has. So, get like, and we're talking about like a bus for Johannes is finishing outside of a podium position. So,
Right.
I'll be happy if he finishes top 5 here. We'll say nothing of it. So, yeah, he's gonna be my bus this week.
Yeah. I hope not, but I love seeing Johannes be fast, and this is one of his favorite tracks. But let's see, Josh, what you got? Boom and bust.
Damn, Johannes is getting a lot of hate right now, but also no, another
Keep it
bust.
going.
You're saying Johannes
Yeah.
to bust all three of you? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, after last week and then this week, he hasn't gotten any practice in, and then he's coming
Oh
in
my gosh.
right after his birthday.
Cool hangover drive.
yeah,
But
he's not
hey,
gonna be
the last time he had a hangover drive, he won. So
That is true. I remember that. So yeah. For Boom, I don't even know. For Boom, it's kind of hard to say.
How about Sid?
I'm thinking, yeah, Sid's always quick. I would expect him to get up in the podium. But I'm thinking Mercedes, honestly. I feel like Sanduga after last week, he did really good. He could probably carry that over. Big Mama Frank, I'm not too sure what's been going on with him, but I'm hoping that he's been practicing. I would think that they'd be having a big weekend coming up soon,
Yeah.
It's got to be coming.
As someone who's attended all 5 practices this week, I will let you guys know that Mr. Sandunga attended all 5 as well, and Big Mama Frank attended 4 of the 5. The one that he was not at was the one that you were at, Josh. So that's the why you didn't see him. But I will say on behalf of the Mercedes guys, they have grinded and put in a lot of time this week. And if you're in Div 2, be prepared. I think the cool thing about Mercedes is that they know they're better and they know they're underperforming. And it's cool to see them recognize that and then put in the extra work and effort. The beginning of the week, seeing where Big Mom Frank and Mr. Sandunga were, like their pace was like pretty slow, and just watching how they progress throughout the week to the point where they're like, at least in the first couple laps, they're competing with D1 times, and they're keeping up with me and Razor, and it's very impressive. But I think that Mercedes has a long way to come. They have came a long way is what I'm trying to say. But for my boom, I'm super excited this week. Garrett, this is his best track, and I have the honor of engineering for him tonight. And I really do think that even though Adam's trying to curse us over here, I do think that Garrett is going to come out with the win. Even if Johannes is showing up, Garrett has told me that he's put in an equivalent of a work week worth of time in practice this week for Monaco. So yeah, he's put in a lot of time. He said it's very important to him that he wins Monaco. This is pretty much one of the only tracks on the whole schedule that he wants to win. So
over 40 hours of work just to be disappointed. That's
I know.
Sorry, Garrett.
The dedication is real.
just to get taken out in the Sandavant. Yeah.
I really hope not, man. But he's really prepared, and I don't know. I think that we're on for a Garrett win this week. As far as my bus, I'm surprised no one else has said this, but you've mentioned the other Alpine driver, but Ethan has been absolutely horrible in every showing, and if you ask him, he'll tell you the same thing. He's not ready for Monaco at all. The iRacing bug has caught him by surprise. and he's struggling even in qualifying to break the 112s. So Ethan is way off pace. I'd be super surprised to see him even get a top 10. So I think extreme bust is coming from Ethan. So sorry, Alpine, but if Johannes and Ethan both do bad, we might see a Ferrari constructors lead.
You're possible.
I want to.
Oh yeah.
Since we talked about Big Mama Frank for a minute, I want to give him a shout out because this is a super solid dude. He's one of our guys that actually is stepping up and doing the extra things. He helps me broadcast D1, and talking to him after the races last week, this dude was so disappointed and upset with himself. It was a simple little mistake, and I think what's been happening is he has been holding himself to such a high standard. He's pushing himself a little bit too hard and making those little mistakes that are the difference between you lose the race and you get a podium. And so once he gets himself settled down, because we've seen the pace he can have, I think you're getting ready to see a lot of a really strong remainder of the season for Big Mama Frank.
Yep. All right. On that note, Revis, let's move to Div 1. Give us your predictions for boom and bust for Division 1.
All right, so my bust, this guy loves this track. It is his absolute favorite track. He's in an AlphaTauri.
Jesus, I know where this is going. I hope you're wrong.
Oh wait, no, Joel's not racing.
Oh, okay.
All right, so I guess I'll pick on the other AlphaTauri driver. No, I think so. Spanini will be in. So AlphaTauri. It seems like I picked him as either my boom or bust in all the divisions, and I think that it's going to be a rough week for the AlphaTauris, and I think it's going to be an absolutely great week for the Ferraris. I think Bob and
Bronson
Josh
is out this week. Okay, yeah.
Bronson's out this week, but Josh has been at at those practice sessions. He gets the race in D2 to get some strategy figured out, and then Barnsley has D1 pace. We've seen that. We know that he's capable of hanging with you guys in D1, and Bob is always a consistent finisher. And I would have had Razor as my boom, but I expect him to win this weekend. So for me, that's not a boom if he does that. That's what I expect Razor to do on street circuits. Like here in Baku, I just know he's going to be near the front. So I think it's going to be another good week for Ferrari, and I think AlphaTauri is going to struggle.
Well, politely giving you the middle finger over here beneath my desk, but
Understood.
we can't show it on stream, of course. Adam, go ahead and give us your boom and bust.
For my bust this week, do
it.
I will say out of his control bust this week. I think Razor coming back, something happens out of his control. It won't be because of Razor. Somebody will misjudge a braking point or something like that and kind of ease him into a wall to where he has to take an unscheduled pit stop. So Razor, sorry buddy, something bad's might happen to you. And for my bust, or for my boom, I don't know if it's necessarily a boom because he should win, but I think Travis has been pretty disappointed in some of the races that he's gotten so far in the first four. So I'm picking Travis to get a win tonight or tomorrow night.
That's awesome. Yep. Josh, what you got?
For bust, I'm gonna just go ahead and throw it on AlphaTauri.
No, dude, you just gotta
I don't really
keep
know.
it coming.
I honestly don't really know for bust because I know you have been practicing. I haven't seen many other guys except for like Jason and Bob practicing, so I'm not really too sure for that. But for boom, I would think Alpine, honestly. Peter and Ian are both really quick. I feel like they've been practicing. If Peter's not on FIFA all the time, then that means he's on point. He's gonna be on point for the weekend. So yeah, I think that they'd be my boom. I can't really put myself up there. I'm just gonna try to see how I do. So
No,
I appreciate I appreciate me being your boom though, Revis. That'll push me more.
Yeah. So
no problem.
So moving on to my boom and bust, I think for my bust, I'm gonna have Ian. It's just a guy who's shown that he can get frustrated every week, and he ends up getting frustrated and making it worse for himself. I think that he's gonna push too hard. He's gonna break a wing, and it's gonna be if it doesn't end in a DNF, it's going to end in multiple broken wings for Ian, and I won't be surprised to see him driving in the back for the majority of the race. Which is funny because after talking to some of my peers in Div 1, I've heard that people also think that there's a good chance Ian qualifies on pole. So, but it's one of those things that maybe he qualifies on pole and then it doesn't last very long. So I don't know. With Ian, he's very quick. Anything could happen, but I don't expect much. So I guess that's my bust for the week. And then for my boom, I know you said that Razor is it wouldn't be surprised, but I don't think this is a surprise either. But I think it will be surprising how much he dominates by, because yeah, he's my boom for the week. I have raced all week with him, 5 different practice sessions, and the dude has shown that he can take multiple different strategies. He's versatile. I think he's safety car prepared, and his pace during the race is outstanding. Very hard to keep pace with, even like unless you want to push to his pace, and put yourself at that risk. It's almost like not worth it because the guy's just gonna outrun you. I don't know where you would pass him anyway. But I think that he's absolutely next level. His qualifying times are fantastic. I'd be very surprised to see him not win this week, even over guys like Ian and Travis and Peter. I think this is Razor's track to lose. But I think that we might actually see a really dominant performance, maybe seeing Razor win by like 10, 15 seconds. So that is my boom.
I hope to see it outside of Alpine. I hope to see it, but I'm just thinking like not in a bust of performance, but a bust of circumstances happen and people get unlucky.
Joel's asking in the chat, is Adam giving team orders to punt Razor?
I do not give team orders. So.
And Travis says he loves you, Adam.
So anyway, that is all our topics for this week. Does anyone have anything else in regards to Monaco before we move on and call it a day?
Just make sure you like and subscribe. Take a minute and go watch our other streams. Go watch the other races. We spend a lot of time. A lot of guys put in a lot of effort to put out this extra content. And the more you share the streams, the more you watch them, the more you interact and comment while they're live. The bigger this thing grows, the faster it grows, and the more talent and the more divisions we end up having, the more racing we end up having, and everybody benefits from it. So please just take that little bit of time and make sure you like, subscribe, share. Right before your race, go share your stream. Tell your parents, put it on your Facebook, put it on your personal Twitter, and get some folks watching you and watching the rest of us, and let's grow this thing together.
Yeah, I mean, on top of what you said, Revis, this is something that a lot of people put a lot of time and practice into, and it's something that, it's your hobby. Be proud of it, and, go ahead and share it with your friends, family. If they're truly your friends, they'll come support you, So, but yeah, if you guys aren't already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, like he said. And tonight at 8:00, we will start with our Division 3 race to kick off our weekend. Actually, I guess last night kicked off our weekend, but we'll start with our Division 3 race tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Division 2 race at 10 p.m. Eastern. And then tomorrow we'll kick off with our premier division of Division 1 going at 8 p.m. Eastern as well. So make sure to tune into that, guys. And no one has anything else. Are we good to go? All right. Yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next week on Wake Up with ZRL. See you guys.
Hey, Josh.
Huh?
Do you know why bakers are so rich?
Oh my God. No. Why? Why?
They make all the dough.